Okay, so this is going to be a seated vertical. Now this is something that I like to use, especially when I've got young athletes, new athletes. You'll see a lot, you'll have kids come in, and when they go to jump, they don't want to bend their legs hardly at all. You know, they want to just try and whip themselves from the hip and fling themselves up in the air, kind of like one of those inflatable things you see outside of a used car lot. So what we'll do is, instead of trying to explain to usually a younger athlete or a child conceptually how they want to jump, because they're just going to get confused, we're going to use a constraints-based approach. So in order to make them have to drive through their legs, make them have to get down into a low enough position where they can actually have some range of motion to load up and drive through, I'm simply just going to put them down on a box, seated. They're going to lean back slightly, raise their legs up just a little, pop those feet down, drive up through, okay? So it's going to put them down in that low squatted position and make them have to figure out how to come out of that faster and higher. And of course, their only answer is they have to use their knees and their ankles. They have to actually get comfortable squatting down and driving through, all right? So with these guys, again, they're pretty good jumpers. They probably don't have this problem anymore, but they're still going to demonstrate how it looks. Again, if you just want another variation, maybe to break up the monotony of your jumping, maybe to give your athlete just a new lesson, a new kind of novel stimulus to chase after, something to keep the training a little bit more fresh, just something to try and experiment with, this is a great option. So let's see it. Boom, 33.7, all right. So again, for Titus, that's a little bit lower than his normal jump, but that's because, that's it, 27.7. So that's right in line with Adam's jumps from earlier today. And DJ, 32.7. So that's right in line with his best jumps today. So especially with your older, more advanced athletes, this is actually taking away 33.6 again. This is actually taking away elements of the jump that are probably strengths for them. You know, if an athlete can already coordinate all of their body and use everything that they've got efficiently, then this jump should be shorter. But you'll see with a lot of younger athletes especially, I'll put them on the box and, you know, have them work off the box for weeks at a time if need be. Let's see it. 28.5. So Adam's getting close to his best. 31.7. But so if I had an athlete who struggled with basically just getting leg drive, 34.0. Again, when it was their turn to jump, I'd say you're going to go off that box until you break your record, so until you PR. 28.0. So again, these are slightly better jumps for Adam than what he was getting earlier today, and they're slightly worse for the other two. Let's see it. Drive hard. 33.4. All right, one more. Let's see if we can get past 29. You got to drive through fast. 28.5. Close. 31.7. All right, so that's our seated jump. There's variation that you can, put into this as well. If you've got an adjustable or a box like this that's going to give you some different options. We're really just trying to get them somewhere between parallel and almost a quarter squat. The purpose is to put them into slightly more range of motion, especially at the knee and hip, than they normally would go through in a jump. So we're trying to increase that leg drive. So if you put them too high, they might jump better, They might get a better score on there, but you might be getting a lesser stimulus. You might not be attacking the weakness that's specific to their, their situation and their jump. So we're trying to use this, trying to dial in that height roughly close enough that it makes them sort of overly reliant on that leg drive and in a slightly deeper position than they would normally get to with a counter movement, right? So that's the seated jump.